This Warriors Life podcast 2024. Brad, fuck's sake. Fucking
Brad
cunt.
Evans. I'll be me tonight,
fuck.
you be you.
Brad Evans, Will Larking. This Warriors Life podcast 2024. Will Evans and Brad Larking here with another edition of That's My Team, and a big one for Andrew Webster after that thrashing on the Gold Coast. Expecting a few changes tonight, maybe. A few forced changes for sure. Brought to you by Kingz Container Crew, the greatest container crew on the planet, for your container packing and unpacking solutions throughout Australia and New Zealand. And if you or someone you know is in the warehousing industry and you ask them, do you want to give Kingz Container Crew a go? You won't look back. Speaking of not wanting to look back, poor old Tom from Kingz Container Crew was actually at that game on the weekend, Brad.
Was he?
Poor bastard.
Oh,
I'm going to tell you what he said. He said the DJ there, the guy over the ground PA was absolutely giving it to the Warriors. They said it was absolutely punishing, and that he played some Celine Dion or something after we finally got on the scoreboard. So even they were giving it to us.
Oh,
What an embarrassment.
Yeah, it's bad when one of those maggots have got it over you, isn't it? They are the worst of the worst, those stadium DJs. Oh, poor bastard. Oh, that's a shame. Take the family out. They would have got fed and sat down there for a little bit of food to start the game. A little bit of quiet optimism for their afternoon, and then badoosh, one in the kisser.
Yeah. Head to kingscontainercrew.com. If you're wanting a gig with those guys, hit the Work With Us tab as well. Thank you to Kingz. And Brad, I uncovered a few other little stats and whatnot when I was doing a piece for the TAB after our pod yesterday.
Yeah.
So this was a Titans side that fielded 4 players with less than 15 NRL games under their belt. And the Warriors team, Jacob Laban, was the only Warrior that had turned out in less than 30 NRL games. So it really just rams home what a fucked up loss it was.
Less than 30? Because 30 is a decent number. So a lot of them have got no excuses. You've played that many games, you should know what it's all about. Yeah, far out. Oh, the sooner this game kicks off this weekend, the better. Put that sucker behind us, far out. It's quite painful.
Do you
know what? I went into Places the other day, and there's this real optimistic Warriors supporter. Yeah, those real good bastards, blind optimism. And he come up to me, goes, he didn't see the game in the weekend because he was away, and he goes, I'm going to watch it tonight. And I went in this morning, he come up to me and goes, you know what? I don't think they played that bad, eh?
Oh man,
it's like, Tones, you're a hard shot, mate. I sort of humoured him, but yeah, that is some blind optimism right there. He was sort of thinking they were a bit hard done by. It's like 66.
Jeez, I envy that guy. That is, that's a great outlook. Brad, it's not quite all doom and gloom. I've had a look at where we are on the table and what the cutoff was last year. 32 points. It means to get to the finals, 6 wins from our last 9 would get us to 31 points. 7 wins from our last 9 would get us to 33.
Right,
So there's a bit of hope there if you're looking to salvage something by scraping into the 8.
Of course, you can't look back many more seasons than that either, because the Dolphins, is it the same amount of points on offer in the season now? The Dolphins?
The three buys is what sort of has changed that cutoff.
Yeah.
On the downside, only once have we reached the finals after winning less than 7 games from our first 15. That was 2008 when we went 6-9, but steamed into 8th with 8 wins from their last 10, and then went on to reach a prelim, a memorable finals charge. Don't know if this team's got it in them.
Nah.
team certainly didn't start their run on the back of a 66-6 loss. So,
and at best, we're
yeah.
talking about scraping into the 8 at the moment. That's
I know.
That's
What
not
a
fun.
fall
What would
from
you
grace.
what would you rather be knocked out first round of the finals with what we've got going on, or blood and give these young fellas a decent go for a few weeks and maybe not make the finals?
No, I think making the finals, it just,
Is that still your?
yeah.
Yeah, I suppose you're
I
right.
th-
That's a dumb statement, actually.
I get it. Like, I get the
Yeah.
idea of, but I don't think he will either. I think it's not like he's going to put his broom through this team.
Nah. And
So,
I don't think there's too many surprises tonight, because already earlier on today in his presser, he's alluded to the fact that Johnson's gone and who's taken his place there. So I think those ones, even though we wanted change there, it's not quite the change we were looking for, if it happens to go that way.
yeah, so Sean Johnson out for or expected 4 weeks with an Achilles problem. I guess that sort of relieves one headache, as we were sort of started talking about before Fonz came steaming in and spitting flakes of pie pastry at us, telling us to not worry about that. Yeah, we were sort of talking about that balance between Tamate and Sean since he came back. Obviously, Tamate was struggling before Sean got injured. He was outstanding in those 3 games, and then Sean came back, and they sort of didn't quite have that balance right. It's hard to know what the solution was. Tamate has had more touches in the last 2 games than Sean, and it just wasn't working. Whether that was to do with how the games went in general or just confusion in their roles, but it did look a bit clunky. Even the Storm game, it wasn't super flash, so
No,
hard
it wasn't.
to judge in a 66-6 loss. But yeah,
as my armchair type critic type knowledge of it all, I wonder if they're both genuine number 7s, and then if one gets pushed to a 6, but feels naturally the game playing as a number 7, it must get quite confusing then as well. And I didn't really. I think in Johnson's defence, I reckon he was giving Tamate a little bit of leeway, knowing that he was playing so dominant. And I think they got confused, maybe muddled and confused as to where one would step in and one would step out. Sort of, yeah, I think he was trying to do the gentlemanly thing by giving it to Martin to play a bit more, but it just didn't happen fluidly.
Yeah. Well, Johnson's by far the better halfback, and I think when he's there, he has to be dominant. I got asked this on SENZ on the show with Staffy yesterday. A listener messaged in and sort of said, as tough as it is on Tamate, is that is the better option a Johnson and say Harris DeVita, and I agreed. I mean,
yeah,
I just don't know that unfortunate for Martin, but
I don't know if he'd have the energy again to build himself up for another season, finishing the year that way. It'd be a tough old year for him after he's a lot of setbacks and getting back on the field. Hopefully he does get on the field, because we'll have a better chance of him signing next year, obviously. But
yeah, I mean, there's sort of everyone seems to be writing him off. That no chance of re-signing. Whether the club still wants him to, I imagine they still would be keen if he's if his head's in it. And I kind of still think there's a chance that he would go around again and not go out like this. And James Fisher-Harris coming back. And the club situation, the sort of muddle along with Martin, Harris, DeVita, Metcalf. The younger guys aren't up to first grade standard yet.
Almost give him like a 6-month sabbatical. Just go get yourself in good nick, mate. Enjoy a year. This year, it's not happening. That might, I'll give him 6 months sabbatical. Go to France, man. Go chill out for a bit of summer. Get yourself fit. Come back. Sign up next year, and let's win it next year. Sucks. Next year now, not this year. Out of it.
Yeah, and we're still only 3 points outside the 8. Which,
I know. But it keeps ringing in my head what you said the other day. 3 points off the bottom as well, though.
Yeah. It's a tough one.
Yeah, it is.
Speaking of next year and, re-signing and that sort of thing, I was going to ask you, Brad, do you think that performance from Jazz obviously showed up in defence a few times. That sort of either took 100G off his contract offer or potentially had it yanked off the table if there was one coming, because
he's
getting
been
pretty late in the piece now.
Yeah, and he's been open. He's quite. Did I read a bit where he's saying it was up to him? They had sort of said he needed to hit some targets before he was getting a contract. He had been playing good, but that that game last week probably deletes 3 good games previous.
Yeah, close to it.
In
good
terms
work
of
rate
market
on attack
value.
again on the weekend,
but yeah. It was everyone, and I think.
Oh yeah,
Jazz when he's bad's terrible, and that. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's a shame. I hope he does re-sign. I thought he was playing Ripper a month ago during those supposed lean times. He was going great gun. So maybe he is a leader that needs more of a voice. Bit of a dust out.
a big part of that 3-match winning streak. Yeah. Mix and pick, Brad.
Oh, jeez. This went well, eh?
Well, not for us, yeah. But we weren't alone down the bottom of the table. 72 players scored 2 points. I was one of those. 49 people, which included you and Mike Minogue, just the 1 point. Yeah, just it really shows how committed you are to the club.
How many got 0? No one. Surely someone got one less than us. We got the worst. Oh no, I was equal last. Then is what you're saying. What did the winner get? That'd be a surprise.
So old Sandberg, he's gone chips in on the Titans, and he's ended up with 7 points. Now, then this is straight from the winner's mouth. He's a mad Warriors fan. He went to both grand finals they played in, and a lot of the semis.
Yeah.
He's been following the NRL since he was a kid, listening to it on shortwave radio and getting VHS tapes from the video store. What a legend!
Where does he live? Equatorial Guinea.
This is in the 80s before they were shown on TV.
Okay, sweet, right. I thought this was like 2 years ago. I was imagining to be true.
So he's loaded up on the Titans, and he's getting himself a This Warriors Life t-shirt.
Did he answer that question?
So.
Did he answer the why? I'd like to know if he had an inkling or that he loaded up on the Titans.
No. Must have either he's part of some sort of betting rort, or he just knew that it wasn't going to go super well. He even predicted the Titans to get 5+ tries. So,
jeez whiz.
Yeah. He knew more than us, that's for sure.
No shit. My cat would have known more than us about that.
The diehard trivia, who was the only player to play 50 games for the Titans and Warriors. As I said yesterday, I forgot who it was after researching the answer and got it wrong. So the options were Bodine Thompson, Ignatius Parsi, Sam Lasorne, Conrad Hurrell, and Clinton Torpey. The answer was Ignatius Parsi.
Was that the one I got right then? Yeah. I thought I put that. Maybe I didn't. I thought that. Darn it.
If you get in touch with Brian.
No, I might have gone Bodine, actually. Yeah, maybe Bodine.
Jump in there. There's a few questions up already, mostly relating to last weekend's game, and also about, I think it's a drinks-related question after you guys give me a hard time about my delicious Aperol Spritz. Should we have a look at this team?
What do they taste like? What is the flavour of an Aperol Spritz? Orange juice?
No, it's kind of, what is it? It's like a...
Is it winey?
No. It is orangey, I think. I get mixed up between that and a Negroni with Campari. It's similar to that, but I think Aperol is not quite as boozy, so it's a bit lighter.
Had it. It's only like 4 days ago you had it, though. How do you not remember what it tastes like?
Oh, but
it's a hell of a weekend in Melbourne.
Chased it with an absinthe, and the night got a bit hazy from there.
Did you really?
No. That was about the last drink I had, actually.
Jesus.
Uh,
Sorry, team naming time. Right, what's he dished up?
yeah. What has Webby got for us, Brad? I'm almost a little bit nervous about this one.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, anyone out there that was hoping for a complete overhaul is going to go home disappointed. Running you through it, Brad. Fullback Chance Nickel-Klogstad on the wings. Dallin Martinez, Lisniak returning from suspension, and Marcelo Montoya. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck and Adam Pompey stay in the centres. Chanel Harris-Tavita comes in at 5'8". Tamati Martin moving to Sean Johnson's halfback spot. Adam Whanua-Blake and Jackson Ford again the props with Wade Ian at hooker. Marata Nukore is partnered in the second row by Mitch Barnett returning from Origin camp. Tohu Harris to start in the number 13. Freddie Lussick coming back in the number 14 jersey. Dylan Walker, Jazz Tavanga, and Kurt Capewell, who will play for Queensland on Wednesday night on the interchange bench. He could not have gone with a more conservative reactionary team. I mean,
why is Lussick and who's he swapped out for?
So Harris Tavita is off the bench and into the starting team.
What?
He's a dummy half cover. So I think that was probably could have picked that. Paul Roach is still.
Yeah.
But my preference would have been Tane Tuapiki at fullback, Chance to 5'8", keep Chanel on the 14.
Yeah.
Shake things up a bit. I mean, so you got beaten 66-6, and you've picked a team like you won 66-6. They're honestly, he has given
exactly what it is.
There is not one person who has been, I guess, what do I want to say, punished, but no one's paid the price at all.
No one's been accountable. No.
The only two players to drop out with it, not injured. Well, you got Dallin coming in for Ed Cossey, who that was always going to happen.
Yeah.
And Tom Ale and Jake Laban have dropped off the bench, and they actually came on and had a dig. So, yeah. I mean, you got to live and die by the team you pick. So, good luck to Andrew Webster, but
I'm not even stoked about Tohu starting.
I think we might see it change again. It worked a lot better with Dylan Walker starting the last couple of previous couple.
He's gone with the if it ain't broke, don't fix it attitude. If it ain't broken, it needs a service. Jesus.
Yeah.
He hasn't even serviced it. He's just...
And our mate, Moala Graham Telfer, is among the reserves contingent with Tom Ale, Jacob Laban, Ed Cossey, Tane Tuapiki. Whether we'll see any late changes remains to be seen, but doesn't seem likely. So, bit deflating, Brad. It was shaping as one of the bigger teamless Tuesdays. And I actually still think that Martin would make a great 14. I think he's quite a limited halfback. He's a tough bugger, good defender, and I think he could make a great 14.
He's a good passer too. I like that. And that's a pretty easy switch, isn't it? One to the bench, one to the field with how they've been.
Yeah.
So I think that's
I think
nice
it could be a great
change.
Dummy half still.
Yeah,
but
same.
We obviously won't get the chance to see that happen with Johnson out for another month. You'd say that Tamati's in that starting side for the rest of the year, regardless. Now, there's a few people sort of starting to tentatively write the epitaph on Johnson's Warriors career after that. Wondering whether he'll be back at all. I think, assuming he gets on top of the injury, he'll definitely be back, whether the season's fucked or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'll either get his farewell games, or if we have turned it around, we're still a better team, surely, with him there, and he certainly gets a run. I don't see him being back and available and them not picking him.
Nah, and then that makes next year real confusing. You can't really.
Yeah.
It's gonna be. It's gonna be hard to win me. They need a win this weekend. That is really deflating that team. It
is a team it's very close to a 17 that put the cleaners through the Cowboys a
yeah,
couple of weeks ago
yeah.
with Chanel and Tamati in the halves there.
And by rights, it probably is the percentage play team to pick to try and win a game. I just, yeah.
It's an all or nothing though. I think if they don't perform this weekend,
Yeah.
when he had the opportunity to make a couple of tweaks, then
Yeah.
some questions will get asked. But yeah,
Yeah, that's
so
a
we've got
fair
a Broncos team coming to town. Bit of Origin involvement clouding their lineup, and injuries, of course. Do you want me to run through their team?
Yeah, gives a look.
Fullback named Tristan Saylor. On the wings, Jesse Arthur's back from injury, and Dean Mariner having a big year on the flank. The centres, Katoni Staggs and Selwyn Cobbo, after being essentially rested from Origin. Ezra Mann and Jock Madden in the halves, with Adam Reynolds still out. The forwards, Corey Jensen and Xavier Willison. The props with Billy Walters at hooker, Brendan Piacora and Jack Gazeski and Kobe Hetherington the back row. Interchange of Tyson Smoothie, Fletcher Baker, Josiah Katapani and Martin Tapo. But the big names are in the reserves. Reece Walsh, Payne Haas and Pat Carrigan among them. So, yeah, I guess we'll see whether any or all of them come back in.
I think you're right in what you said on the pod the other day. Probably 2 of the 3 will play. And there's a good chance 2 or 3 of them. Yeah. They'll probably get all of them. Geez, I'd love Haas to not play. I think we've got a good bit of wood on them in that forward pack. Our forward pack's still that's our preference as a forward pack. It's always the backs we want to be tinkering at the moment. So I think it'd be a good chance for that forward pack to dominate a young sounding pack. A lot of them I've never, there's a few of them I haven't heard of there.
It's pretty under strength, all right.
Yeah.
Without Haas and Carrigan. So if they do get rested, it's a huge opportunity for the Warriors to get back on track. Looking at the back line, interested to see if they leave Roger on the right, is where he played. He's played all his games at centre on the left before last weekend.
Way to cloud his head even more, eh?
Yeah.
He's getting shat on a little bit this year.
To get to grips with. Yeah, it's been tough old comeback year for old Rog. And a tough assignment as well. I think he's actually handled it defensively fairly well, I think. The centre spot hasn't been shown up but yeah, he's either going to be playing against Katoni Staggs or Selwyn Cobbo, so huge assignment. And equally big for Adam Pompey, who probably needs a big game. There was chat that Rocco Berry might be available. He hasn't been named in the 23. Very interested to see who drops out if Rocco comes back from that shoulder injury, whether it's Montoya and Roger to a wing, or Pompey just goes straight out. But
that might be an interesting little be out of it.
We just have to cool our heels on MGT for another week, Brad, before he gets that second game. Ali Leatawa not due back to round 18, so next week probably come into contention again, I guess, as well.
Is it round 17?
Yeah.
No shit. I thought it was like 12 or so. Far out. I didn't realise how deep we were. Shit, we're going to play some good footy in the next couple of weeks, man, if we want to make it to the finals.
Yeah, probably should start chalking up a few dubs, though.
Wow, that's a long way. That's deep into a season. Yeah, shit. Interesting. Interesting time. It's good. Although another year of just winning every game would have been quite nice, but it's quite nice having a few more things to talk about them rather than and every second.
How good they're going.
I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's put a bit of interest in that into it all these new kids playing so well, and a bit of adversity in the top grade, a little bit of niggle. Always, at least it's interesting. Keeps us in a job.
I don't know, man. We might start losing our sponsors if they keep getting beaten 66-6. But
be a tough sell. Tough sell.
I'm over talking about this team, Brad. Since
Yeah,
if they're not
sick
going to make any
bowl.
changes, then
Yeah, sick bowl.
yeah.
What are we doing?
Well, I know how much you love Roxy's Would You Rather's. Did you want
Righto.
to chuck
Yeah,
another one out at you?
yeah. Biff on
Uh,
out.
she's sent it in, and Roxy, she thinks she gets your psyche. She asked whether you'd rather have knee length hair or knee length pubes.
Here. That's an easy
Hair,
one. Yeah, why would you
knee
want
length
that
hair.
many? What? Okay, is there a trick? Is this a trick question? No, I
No,
definitely
but
need.
but you got to wear your hair out.
Oh, no, do you have to wear your
Yeah,
pubes out?
yeah, just a big pair of baggy
Oh,
shorts, and you'll be all good
I'd
to go.
rather,
Big
I'd
pair
rather,
of
I'd rather the finger pointing be for long hair than long pubes hanging out. I tell you, I reckon long pubes
but we.
you'll be getting deep shit real quick. Cops will be going, "Hey, come on, mate, you need to do something about that, or you can't walk past this school anymore."
I think you could just get a big pair of old Zeal jeans, Zeal shorts, and
The
that go down
dungarees.
just past the knee.
I had the
Yeah.
dungarees, the overalls. I
Oh
had
yeah.
some Zeal overalls, black ones.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was out of it. Yeah, no, definitely knee
Just
length
can't.
hair. Definitely knee
Oh,
length hair.
that would be horrible. I reckon having knee length hair.
Well, I don't know why you're thinking pubes is such a
I'm
good
not saying.
option.
I'm not saying. I'm not saying
Well,
it's going to be a
how
walk in
come
the
you're
park.
allowed to? So if you're allowed to put a pair of pants over your pubes, I'm allowed to put my hair up in a beanie. Yeah.
No, no.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you
exactly.
could.
You can't change the rules to suit your.
Mm. Well, I
So,
mean,
well,
no, because that.
pubes then, because no one knows you got them. I
Hmm,
suppose
okay.
you might be signing off
But
on any sexual fantasy you ever thought you were going to achieve.
okay. You just mull it over. I think you're going to come back and change your answer like you did with the
Pubes or hair?
cat-sized
Yeah,
horse,
righto.
horse-sized duck.
Give me a week. Give me a week.
Mm.
I
Something to mull over.
it's like I'm missing something blatant, and it's like you're smug there, looking at me, going, "Are you thinking of it?"
No, just no. It's no. There's no tricks. I'm just quite firm with my answer as well.
But yeah,
Just
if I can tuck away the pubes, I'm having pubes. I suppose I'm having pubes. But why aren't I allowed? I just don't understand why I'm not allowed to tuck away my hair.
well, I mean, because now your pubes are in your shorts,
Yeah.
but
am I
but
allowed to wear a
generally,
cap at least?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I can wear a cap.
You wear a cap, but your hair's still your hair's still
down to my knees,
draping
yeah.
down your back,
I don't
right
know.
down to your knees.
I reckon I could make that work. I reckon I can make that work. Yeah. Nah. I don't know. They just seem unfair. They're unfair. It's definitely tilted to being able to wrap it up. That's all I'm going to say. Oh,
Okay.
shit.
Anything else for us, Brad, before we sign it off?
What have we got? There was an old boy, back in the day, we always talk about the tales of Rananga. A couple of tales are about my time at the butchery. After school job, I'd go and clean up the butchery and make some sausages and just general dog's body. And the old boy, I thought, just for old time's sake, old Jonesy the butcher, a boss, big impact on my life. He popped up for a couple of things. The poor old bugger, he tipped up last week and passed away. So I thought I'd rehash one just for Jonesy's memory of a little imprint he left on my brain. And now this little story, I have to say a terrible word because this is it's the C one. So if there's any kids listening, but it can't be told any other way because the way he delivered it. It was amazing. But anyway, I had this after school job, Jonesy's Butchery, Jonesy's Snarler Parlour, it was called, in Rananga, first buffalo butchery in New Zealand. Go there after school, I'd go home and I'd have a durry at home in the woodshed behind the house, and then quickly boost
Secretly.
up. Yeah, real secret. Yeah. And then I boost up there, and wash dishes and do a little bit of sausages and that. But there was this other guy there, Broady. Broady is one out the box, mate. You'll never meet anything like this dude. He's a lunatic. And he was there. He was his apprentice, so he was working full time in there. And he was always they were always scrapping and fighting. And one day, Jonesy to look at, he sort of looked like Johnny Cash and loved country music. He was just this real slick operator sort of dude. Great with the ladies when they come in the shop. And then he'd come out the back and be beating us again, like, go, you effing da-da-da, effing and jeffing at us. But as soon as a Sheila walked in, smooth operator, you'd hear that on the radio. And he'd comb his hair and he'd be out the front. But then I come in one day and Broady was in the smoko room and he's getting a big bandage on this. He cut his finger open. And I go, oh shit, you cut yourself there, mate. And he goes, Jonesy goes to me, that bastard's been through 4 boxes of sticking plasters this month. And I was like, oh shit, that's no good, Jonesy. Yeah, the stupid he keeps fucking cutting himself open. I was like, oh, well. I said, well, why don't you, Jonesy, get one of those those steel gloves that you can put on and stop cutting himself. And he stopped, and I've never been looked at like I'm a disgusting piece of shit like it before. He looked at me disgusted and goes, steel glove, cunt needs a shark suit. He was dead serious. And I was just imagining Broady out the back of this butchery fucking shark suit. The steel glove wasn't good enough. The way... Chink, chink. Yeah, and fuck, it was one of the best delivered lines I've ever wore in my life. Fuck, I pissed myself.
Oh,
yeah,
R.I.P. Jonesy.
Yeah, no shit. Renaga legend, West Coast legend. R.I.P., mate.
Oh, nice way to take us out. I think, Brad.
Yeah, I'm going to feed some kids.
Yeah. Okay, mate.
Right, I will.
We'll talk after the game.
How's
what they dish up this week, eh?
We had synchronized sighs just then, so I think we've left this a little bit
where we're at.
disillusioned at the moment, but fuck, up the waz.
Yeah, fucking was.